Hello friends, today we will learn about conservation of biodiversity. Biodiversity is a source of significant economic, aesthetic, health and cultural benefits which form the foundation of sustainable document. However, However, there is general scientific consensus that the world is rapidly becoming less biologically diverse in terms of genes, species, and ecosystems. The reason for this is clearly anthropogenic. The scale of human impact on biological diversity has been increasing exponentially, primarily because of worldwide patterns of consumption, production, trade, agricultural, industrial, and settlement development, and human population growth. Neither the economic nor the ecosystem value of biodiversity is as yet well understood. In particular, there is insufficient knowledge of the interdependence of species within ecosystems and the impact of the extinction of one species on others. Hence, reducing the rate of biodiversity loss and conserving still existing biodiversity as the basis of sustainable development remain major global challenges. Conservation is the protection, preservation, management, or restoration of wildlife and natural resources such as forest and water. Through the, through the conservation of biodiversity, the survival of many species and habitats which are threatened due to human activities can be ensured. Let's know about in situ conservation and ex situ conservation. In situ conservation. Conservation can be broadly divided into two types, that is in situ and ex situ. In situ means the conservation of habitats and ecosystems where organisms naturally occur, sacred groves, biosphere reserves, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries are all examples of in situ conservation. Let's know about ex situ. Ex situ means the conservation of elements of biodiversity out of the context of their natural habitats is referred to as ex situ conservation. Zoos, zoos, botanical gardens, and gene banks are all examples of ex situ conservation. Gene banks function as ex situ conservation, where a sample of genetic variability of a species is preserved in an artificial environment outside of its normal habitat. In general, the seeds of plant species are stored in environments at low temperature and humidity. In these conditions, their viability can be preserved for several decades. Let's know about in situ conservation strategies. The in situ approach includes protection of a group of typical ecosystems through a network of protected areas. These are these are areas of lands or seas especially dedicated to the protection and maintenance of biological diversity and of natural and associated cultural resources. National parks are reserves of lands usually declared and owned by a national government protected from most human development. Biosphere conserves are a special category of protected areas of land or coastal environments where people are an integral components of the system. These are representative examples of natural biomes and contain unique biological communities. The concept of biosphere conserves was launched in 1971 as a part of UNESCO's Man and Biosphere program. The first biosphere conserve of the world was established in 1979. Since then, the network of biosphere reserves has increased to 531 in 105 countries across the world. Now there are 18 biosphere reserves in India. These reserves are rich in biological and cultural diversity and encompass unique features of exceptionally pristine nature. The goal is to facilitate conservation of representative landscapes and their immense biological diversity and cultural heritage, foster economic and human development which is culturally and ecologically sustainable, and to provide support for research, monitoring, education and information change. Let's know about the objectives. Each biosphere reserve is each biosphere reserve is intended to fulfill three basic functions, three basic needs which are complementary and mutually reinforcing. A conservation function is to contribute to the conservation of landscapes, ecosystems, and species variation, and a development function is to foster economic and human development, which is socio culturally and ecologically sustainable. A logic function to provide support for research, monitoring, education, and information exchange related to local, national, and global issues of conservation and development. A biosphere reserve consists of core, buffer, and transition zones. The natural or core zone represents an undisturbed or least distributed disturbed area of representative ecosystem. The buffer zone surrounds the core zone and is merged for research, education, and training activities. Traditional activities including timber production, hunting, fishing, and grazing are permitted. The transition zone, the outermost part of the Biosphere Reserve, is an area of active cooperation between reserve management and the local people, is where is activities like settlements, cropping, forestry, and recreation and other economic uses continue in harmony with conservation goals. Let's know about the Project Tiger. Project Tiger is a wildlife conservation project initiated in India in 1972 to protect the tigers. It was launched on April 1, 1973, and has become one of the most successful wildlife conservation ventures. The main idea behind the project is to provide safe havens for tigers where they could flourish as a species and hopefully reverse the startling decline in their population. Initially, the project started with 9 tiger conserves covering an area of 16,339 kilometers with a population of 268 tigers. At present, there are 27 tiger reserves covering area of 37,761 kilometers square with a population of 1,498 tigers. This account for most 1.14% of the total geographical area of the country. The selection of reserves was guided by representation of ecotypically wild wilderness areas across the biogeographic range of tiger distribution in the country. Major approaches of management. Let's know about the major approaches to management. We have a moral duty to look after our planet and pass it on in a good health to our future generation. We may appreciate the fact that the most effective and efficient mechanism for conserving biodiversity is to prevent further destruction and degradation of habitat by us. There are two basic strategies of conservation biodiversity. One is in situ conservation and other is ex situ conservation. This approach includes in situ conservation. The approach includes protection of a group of typical ecosystem through a network of protected areas, that is conservation in natural habitat. It includes biosphere reserve, national park, wildlife sanctuaries. And in ex situ conservation, here the approach includes protection of plants, animals outside their natural habitat for medicinal or other purposes. That is, it includes seed bank, botanical gardens, zoological gardens, aquarium, etc. Most people recognize that diversity at all levels is important and need to be conserved. The points to take stress during conservation strategies are measures and incentives for the conservation and sustainable use of biological diversity, regulated access to genetic resources and traditional knowledge, including prior informed consent of the party providing resources. Sharing in a fair and equitability way the results of research and development and the benefits arising from the commercial and other utilization of genetic resources with the contracting party providing such resources are like governments, local communities that provide the traditional knowledge or biodiversity resources utilized. Next is access to and transfer of technology, including biotechnology to the governments or local communities that provide traditional knowledge or biodiversity resources. Technical and scientific cooperation, impact assessment, education and public awareness, provision of financial resources, national reporting on efforts to implement treaty commitments. Let's know about biodiversity conservation, that is threats and constraints. Here, first is habitat fragmentation, degradation and loss and shrinking of genetic diversity. The loss and fragmentation of natural habitats affect all animal and plant species. Various species of plants and animals are on the decline due to habitat fragmentation and over exploitation. Example, let's take an example like habitats of great Indian bustard in Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Rajasthan, and of lion-tailed macaque in Western Ghats. Loss of habitats and overexploitation have led to depletion of genetic diversity of several wild animals and cultivated plants. Declining natural resource base and overexploitation of resources. Degradation of forest results from illicit felling, excess removal of forest products, fodder, fuel wood, forest floor litter, overgrazing, and forest fires. As a result, some of the florist and faunal components, including many keystone and endemic forest species, are now left with narrow eroding populations which need to be urgently conserved. Invasive alien species. The major plant invasive species include Lantana camara, Eupantorium odoratum, and E. adenoforum, Parthenium hysterophorus, like this. Alien aquatic weeds like water hyacinth are increasingly choking waterways and degrading freshwater ecosystems. A recent intruder, the African catfish, seemed to have posed even far greater threats to native fish fauna. climatic change and desertification, impact of development projects. Now let's know about NBA. NBA means National Biodiversity Authority.